Hey YouTube, how's it going? Felix here. This is my 2023 Hyundai Elantra Limited with the gas engine, not the hybrid. And I think we already know that the Hyundai Elantra Limited has fantastic gas mileage. I regularly get 45 miles to the gallon or more in this car, or with a combination of city and highway driving. But in this video, I'm going on a road trip. I'm going on a road trip to Indiana from where I live in Connecticut. It is a round trip of 1,700 miles. And in this video, I'm going to be looking at the fuel economy that I achieved during this big road trip. It's going to be on the highway the whole way. I'm going to be driving the speed limit. And yeah, I want to see what sort of fuel economy I can get for my Elantra. And I'm also going to be checking whether the trip computer in the car is actually accurate or not. Because in many cars, the trip computers are not very accurate. I'm going to be logging all the fuel stops. And I'm going to let you know how good the fuel economy really is in this Elantra. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so we've made it all the way to Ohio from Connecticut. We just crossed the border from Pennsylvania into Ohio. So far on the trip, we have done 428 miles, and the Elantra is saying it is doing 47.6 miles per gallon. So that's fantastic. I've actually just plugged the numbers into the Fuely app. You should download that app. It's a really cool app for tracking your fuel economy. The Fuely says it's doing more like 43 miles per gallon in terms of real life, but that's pretty good. There are lots and lots of hills in Pennsylvania, so we're hoping that the fuel economy is going to get even better when it gets even flatter as we get towards Indiana. So I'll update you on our next fuel stop. Okay, so it's 6:30 in the morning. We're here in Indiana. We just filled up the Elantra for the second time on the journey. We've made it all the way to Indiana. We went all the way around Indiana, and we're just filling the car up on our way home. We've covered 880 miles so far on the trip, and we're about to head back. The Elantra is reading 47 miles per gallon, but we just filled up, and the Fuely app is saying that my average is actually 41 miles per gallon. So it looks like the Elantra trip computer is definitely pretty ambitious compared with the real life results. But of course, we'll come up with a summary there at the end of the video when we finish the trip. So yeah, let's head back. We're gonna stop in Pennsylvania on the way, and we'll see you back probably when we fill up, maybe in Pennsylvania or Ohio. Okay, catch you in a second. Okay, so we're here in West Virginia. We just completed another fuel up. We're almost done with our road trip. We've only got about halfway left on the way back. We just found some really interesting 88 octane gas, which is gasoline with 15% ethanol, or up to 15% ethanol in it, here in West Virginia. It's dirt cheap at only $2.49 a gallon at the time of filming this video. Yeah, I mean, that's dirt cheap gas. It is 15% octane, 15% ethanol, which is allowed in the owner's manual. So I think the car's going to be absolutely fine. Supposedly you get slightly reduced fuel economy, but it's much cheaper. So I'm thinking it's worth a shot. We're going to burn all of it anyway on this trip, so I think we'll see. So far the car is listing 46.7 miles per gallon on the trip computer. The Fuely app is saying more like 40 miles per gallon. I'll include a screenshot here at the end of the video so you can see what the app is saying. Yeah, this is definitely overcalling by around 10%, I would say, but that's very common in lots of cars. So yeah, I will update you on our final fuel stop when we're back in New England. Okay, so we're back here in Connecticut. The road trip is complete. We completed our final fill up on the Elantra. The car is back to full gas, and so here are my total stats for the trip. So we did 1,718 miles total, and the Elantra reads 46.9 miles per gallon over 30 hours of driving. So there you go, 46.9. So that's like 90% highway driving across the USA. Actually, just out of interest, my last fuel stop using the 88 octane gas, which is the stuff with 15% ethanol in it, had no real impact whatsoever on my fuel economy. Maybe it was actually ever so slightly better. So yeah, if you ever see 88 octane gas, it's perfectly fine to put in your Elantra. Yeah, that's the stuff with 15% ethanol, perfectly fine, and it's super cheap, so definitely invest in that. However, if you look at the real fuel economy, which I've been calculating here on this app called Fuely, which you can get, I'll put a link to this in the description, you can see that my average miles per gallon is actually 41.6. And all I've used this app to do is to track the road trip I went on. So you can see roughly 1712, the mileage is about the same, 41.6 miles per gallon, but the Elantra says 47 miles per gallon. That's pretty common. So we can say that the Elantra is roughly 10% or so too high on the built-in trip computer, the real fuel economy is about 10% lower. That's actually a super common thing in lots of cars. It's nothing really special about the Elantra. It's just something that always happens. So yeah, the real fuel economy of your Elantra 2-litre naturally aspirated 4-cylinder is somewhere around 42 miles per gallon USA. Hope this video is helpful. If you're interested in more videos on the Elantra or anything like this, please do consider liking the video and subscribing to my channel. Always lots of new car videos coming soon, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.